All right, in this video, I'm going to show you how to get exposure to GameStop stock without paying the full price for the stock and using options. And I realize people know how to just buy calls, but with something as volatile as GameStop, the calls can be incredibly expensive. And even the stock itself here on Robinhood, you can see the maintenance requirement right here. Basically, it's 100%, meaning it doesn't increase your buying power. They treat the stock almost as if like you own an option, like because it's so volatile. So with my other stocks, you can see the buying power for GameStop. I have other stocks in this account. I like Robinhood, just so you know, for smaller stocks, cheap or options on the cheaper stocks, or doing spreads. I like doing spreads because a lot of times they're 2 and 4 leg option strategies, but I don't have to pay a commission. This is a 3-legged option strategy. You can see down below, I have one here. The collateral I put up is $1,000. So rather than paying, you can see at the top, GameStop, it says $21.74, but it closed at $21.10. That's the after hours pricing. Instead of putting up $2,100, I have put up $1,000 plus whatever I pay for the option. And let's go ahead and get in the strategy, but let me just go ahead and confirm. If we look at the 1 o'clock close, 21.10. I'm going to go to a different brokerage account. I use Interactive Brokers. You can use portfolio margin where it's not quite as penal. I could just buy the stock here. And right now, tomorrow, 0 DTE on April 4th. We're not going to do 0 DTE. When I sell options, I like to go whatever weeks out or a couple months out, maybe for time burn. But I like to go way out in time and actually deep in the money when I'm a net buyer of options, because that way time decay doesn't work against me, or I'm not paying. And with GameStop, again, if I just bought the call, you can see, again, this pricing, it's $21.74, this little black diamond here. If I bought just below the money call, paying $6.50 plus 20, paying $26.50 for something that this pricing is reflective of $21.10 price. If I buy an out of the money, I'm still $21 plus $5.80, or $21.10 plus $5.80. I'm still at $26.90, and that's just because GameStop is so volatile, and you're going to kind of prepay for that in the option. However, and keep in mind, these are January 16th, 2026. We're early April here, so this is like 8 months and change, almost 8 months and 2 weeks. 8 months and a week. There you go. 8 months and a week. So what I'm going to do is the 3 option strategy is I'm going to sell an at-the-money put. And if you buy an at-the-money call, this is actually called synthetic stock. And look, just by doing this, you sell the $20 put for $4.35. You buy the 20 call for $6.50. If we look down here, my mid price is $174. You can see the 3 numbers in the top right. They probably won't give it to me for $174, but they'll give it to me for around $2, probably less, like $195, $2, maybe $190. But if we just add $190 on top of 20, what my call strike is, now I'm not paying that much more than, well, what it was trading when it closed. It closed at $21.10, and that's what these option prices are recommending. So I'm only paying for 80 cents, 85 cents of intrinsic value if I got this option strategy for $190, $195, right? Because my call strike is 20. And if it's $21.10, $1.10 of that is equity. The rest is just the extrinsic value, as opposed to when I wasn't selling the put, there's a lot of extrinsic value, whether I go the 22 or the 20. So this is synthetic stock, but this is not going to give me, they call this synthetic stock when you sell basically an at-the-money put and you buy an at-the-money call. We can't do that exactly. If you go one in, one out, this is called a risk reversal, but it's almost like synthetic stock. And again, we can get this for $1, probably not $1.05, but $1.15, $1.20 on top of a $22 call now. Now I'm still paying for a decent amount of extrinsic. So I like this as our base. What I'm going to do to conserve my buying power, especially this is great for small accounts, because if I do this in Robinhood, they're still going to lock up $2,000 in my account, because when I sell the put, they just are going to consider that I lose everything. But by buying this $10 put, now I realize that costs $70. It probably won't cost that much, not quite the midpoint. But if I add this to it, it does add to my cost. Without it, remember, is that like, call it $1.95, $2, like that's somewhere, I call it the middle of the middle, somewhere between the ask and the mid. That's probably what I can get it for. If I do the middle of the middle now, I'm probably at about $2.55. So I do pay a little bit more for it, but what it does for me is it conserves my buying power. Now, the only thing I'm out, instead of being out, like if I just bought the stock, I'd be out 2,100 of buying power. Now I'm only out the difference between 20 and 10 times 100 shares. That's $1,000 plus the cost of this option. So let's just call it, let's call it 260. So now I'm out 1260. So essentially I'm controlling almost 100 shares. It's not exactly, but I'm almost controlling 100 shares of IBIT, certainly above the $20 strike, for 1260 instead of 2110. That's pretty good, right? As far as capital efficiency, that's a good deal. Now, I can pay a little bit more and go a little deeper in the money. Now, look at the difference between these two call options for just a moment. Notice if I buy the 20, it's 650. But if I buy $3 more of intrinsic value, it's not $3 more. It doesn't go, the price doesn't go from 650 to 950. It goes from 650 to 185. So I'm paying $1.35 for that much equity. Now, it doesn't mean it'll hold. Like GameStop is very volatile, but basically I'm getting kind of a discount on the equity if I'm bullish. So now if we set up this trade, I am going to pay more. Let's call it $390. I'm going to pay $390, right? On top of the 1,000 of buying power that's going to be hogged. But really, I'm like essentially my all-in buying power effect is only 2/3 of what it would be if I bought the stock. If I bought the stock at 2110, I'd be out $2,100 and $10. 2110. And two-thirds of that is 1,400. Well, for a little less than 2/3 of that, the 20 minus 10 times 100 shares, that's $1,000. That's not coming out of my pocket. It's just kind of blocking other moves I can do in my portfolio, plus the additional, whatever, $390 that I'm going to pay for this option strategy. I'm under 1,400, but now I'm controlling GameStop from 17 upwards. And it's going to act more like stock. So I call this, again, like the synthetic stock is this at the money call here, at the money put here. But Robinhood or any broker is going to lock up that much equity. But by buying this hedge put, right, now this is a hedged synthetic. But when I go inverted, to basically get a deeper in the money call so it acts more like stock and I control it earlier if it goes up. I bought that equity for a discount, but that's why I call this the inverted. It's inverted from the put strike. The inverted hedged synthetic stock, which I think is pretty cool here. We can go longer out, so this only lasts to 287. Actually, before we do that, let's just talk about what could happen, because this is pretty cool if things go up. But if things go wrong, it will cost me more. So let's talk about like if it closes right at 18, like at expiration, not here. Oh, shoot. Oh, good. It's still there. January 16, 2026. If it expires at $18, well, what happened? Well, first of all, I have to buy, because of this put, this red part, I have to buy the stock for $2,000, assuming I do no rolls, no managing. So now I'm going to pay $2,000 for stock that's only at 18. Ooh. And I paid this $390. So now I paid just under $2,400 for something that's at 18. Like I would have been better off buying the stock. I would have been better off just doing the synthetic, right? Now, thankfully, I don't pay that much. I don't pay $23.90 because I have some equity in my call. If it closes at 18, I pick up $100 because my strike price there is 17, and I pick it up for 18, I could just sell the call back and keep that 100 and deduct it from my 23.90 price. So that was I have to pay $2,000 here. Plus I would have already paid $390 here. So it's at $22.90, right? I'm not that much worse off than paying $20.10 for the stock because I had all the use of all my other capital. I could make more moves in my portfolio along the way. It's not that bad. Let's say GameStop goes to zero. Here's the other cool thing. If GameStop goes to zero, like it just completely nukes. Well, if I would have done synthetic stock or just regular stock, like I'd be out $2,100. Or in this case, I'd be out the $2,000 that I now owe because somebody put their stock to me at $20 and I have to pay it, plus the $174. So I'd be out $2,200. But by doing the reverse inverted hedge synthetic, since I have this hedge put way up here at $10, yes, I lose the $375 that I pay. And yes, I have to pay somebody $2,000 for the stock. I then get to put the stock to somebody else for 10. So I get back $1,000 rebate, let's just say, right? I get $1,000 rebate back, which is not terrible, right? If you just bought the stock, you'd be out $2,100. Here, you'd be out $2,390, less $1,000 because I get $1,000 rebate. So I'd only be out whatever that is. I'd only be out $1,400, right? I'd only lose 2/3. I'd only be out $1,400 instead of the normal $2,100. So that's the other cool thing about it. And if it moons, right? If it moons anywhere up here, yeah, I paid a little bit more for this extrinsic. I paid $390. Oh, no, actually I got a discount. I paid $390 on top of I control it from $17. This put that I sold, it's going to expire worthless because it mooned, right? This put that I bought, it's going to expire worthless. But this call I control from 17 and I paid $390 for it. But if I would have bought the stock, I wouldn't have paid $390 over 17. I would have paid $410 over 17. Or if I did the synthetic, I'd pay whatever. I'd pay whatever it is. You get the point. So I get a slight discount if things moon. But anyway, pretty cool strategy. Again, not financial advice, but just something you can do to control your capital more efficiently. And this is also a great thing you can do if you can DCA. And like you can do this if you have a Roth and you know you're going to contribute to your Roth and you want double the exposure to GameStop or whatever. You're paying you can actually get more than double the exposure since you're only paying this much capital, but they are going to lock up this in your account. So if you want to get a leveraged play on GameStop, you can use this strategy and knowing that you can DCA into whether you get assigned the put if it's down or it moons and you just want to hold the stock forever, then you can then go ahead and DCA and pay that $1,700 and control the stock for there. Or if you just want to take profits, you don't need to DCA anything. You control all the profits up to that. You could just sell this deep in the money call and take those profits. Pretty cool. You can also adjust your time frame. Oh, it's not giving me the same strike prices. Otherwise, I was going to set up. But anyway, you get the point. Hope this helps. Go forth and prosper.